Whoa. Guys, why am I already tired?
It's the groom that just ran away.
I fear, why is it taking so long? Honestly, I think we could wrap it up. I love toxic. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna be doing a 24-hour readathon today. It's spring break. I decided, why not torture myself? I'm gonna do a 24-hour readathon. I've done the 24-hour readathon where I just elapse time on the stopwatch every time I'm reading, and it took me like 8 days to reach 24 hours of like consecutive only reading time. And then I did another challenge where I did the 24-hour clock. I pulled an all-nighter, fell asleep at like the last 3 hours, and then I woke up, finished the challenge, and I read 6 books in that video. So I don't know how many books I'm gonna read today, but I think today I'm going to turn on the 24-hour timer, and if I fall asleep, I'll just do the rest of that time the next day. So if I only get 12 hours today, then I'll do the next 12 hours the next day. And if I only do 11, I'll do 13 the next day. So I'm gonna try to get as much done out of the 24 hours as I can today, because that's what I plan to do. Like, I plan to do it today and tomorrow. We're gonna get to it, but I don't know how many books I'm gonna get to. I have a couple books, like physical books that I could read, but I'll show you the options that I have. For physical books, I have Mad About You by mcfarlane. This is my 4th mcfarlane book if I read this one. This one's about a woman who calls off her engagement to the perfect man and moves in with a charming stranger to makes her question everything about her life, her past, and a secret she's kept far too long. Harriet is a wedding photographer, and she doesn't believe in romance and loathes the idea of marriage. When her longtime partner proposes, she breaks it off. And then Cal is the main male character. He's a hopeless romantic, strangers to roommates to friends. I'm thinking it's like funny story type of beat. Not actually, but I think this is the book we're gonna start out with, unless something other like tickles my fancy. But then I also have Heavenly Bodies by mhairi. So sorry if I mispronounced that. Probably did. But this one is a romantasy, and it has like stars, shadow magic, Greek mythology, enemies to lovers. Next is Oathbound. This is the 3rd book in the Legendborn series. This one just came out, and I read the first 2 in 2022, like end of 2022. We could continue on with the Legendborn series. This book's like 700 pages. Actually, not really. 650 or something. I have my copy of Magnolia Parks. Could read this. I don't know. I just brought it. I have a copy of The Nightingale by Kristen Ciccarelli. I recently read The Woman by Kristen Ciccarelli. Literally like finished it last night by recently. This is in my 25 books I want to read in 2025. Let's get on with the Kindle books that I have. I have 4 books on my Kindle that I could read. I have Hope This Finds You Well. I don't know much about it. I just know it's like a fiction, maybe romance. It was on somebody's book club, but it was like workplace type of beat. Then I have Deep Cuts. I don't know anything about Deep Cuts. I know it's like 2 college kids that meet and like, and I think it spans the rest of their lives. I could look it up, but I don't want to. And then I have First Time Caller by BK Borison. This one I didn't know. Okay, I heard everyone talk about it during like Valentine's Day, because that's when it like came out. It came out like in the early February or like late January, and I heard Sarah Crowley like talk about it, and because she was reading it, and she was like, yeah, this daughter's like, she sets up her mother to be with the like radio host caller guy. And so when I heard that, I thought like it was like 20's daughter and then trying to set up her 50's mother, and I was just like, okay. Like, now that I'm looking at the cover, I think it's like the daughter's like at least 10 or younger. That's still scary. Like, why does this 10-year-old have the ability to go on air and call, which is crazy. I think that book's pretty long. And then I also have Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. I read Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, and I didn't really like it. I gave it a 2.75 stars. I think it was just because it just felt so like we were focusing on the baby daddy and then the main female character, and I was just like, where's this other guy come in? Because everyone loves him, but I'm like, I'm not getting anything of him. So I think this one is a heavier book. I think it deals with like grief, like loss of a best friend. So, but I have a lot of romances on my Kindle. That's when I'm like tired and I want to go to that. So I think I'm gonna start with mcfarlane book, because I think it's gonna be harder for me to read a physical book because I'm just gonna be sat in this bed all day trying to read. But let's get started. Oh wait, what time is it? 10:09. Okay. There we go. Stressed out. I'm gonna put these books away. I'm gonna start reading my first book, and then maybe in a couple minutes we'll make a coffee. I've been reading for about 2 hours. The timer's still going, so I'm going to eat some lunch. It's 12:06. I'm hoping that it's not picking up the kettle because that's annoying. But yeah, it's 12:06. I am on page 200 of Mad About You by mcfarlane. The premise of this one just felt a lot more like rom-com-y, and it started out really rom-com-y in like the traditional sense, like, oh, this is happening, the breakup of like the original couple, and then she's finding herself. But like, I just read like a heavier chapter, and I was just like, oh, I don't know why I didn't expect, because all of the mcfarlane books that I've read so far have some like semblance of like trauma with the main character, and yeah, it happened in here too. For our main guy character, Cal, he's supposed to be like the hopeless romantic character. I'm not really seeing anything of Cal, like, at all, and hopefully that's gonna start picking up, because a theme that I've seen in mcfarlane's books is that at the 50% mark, that's when the couple like really starts to pick up. And so Cal and Harriet are already like integrated with each other because they live together now, because she left her boyfriend John, and so she was like, I need somewhere to live, like I can't keep living with him, so she moves in with Cal. And Cal is a character that was a runaway groom. So Harriet is a wedding photographer, so she's like photographing a wedding. Cal is the groom that just ran away. So that's what's happening, and she doesn't really know like anything about like the whole situation with Cal and his ex-fiance basically. And so she's just like, okay, whatever. And when she met Cal, he was like a little standoffish, like once he figured out like she was a photographer at his wedding that he ran away from. So he's like, oh my god, can't have her, she's 34, she has like no belongings, so she just left this long-term relationship. He has preconceived notions about her, and so that's all that happening right now. 50% in, and I'm liking it. I think it's fun, it's easy, it's light to read. Like, it's easy. Like, I think all of our mcfarlane's books are so like easy for me to read, and I wouldn't say they're like typical rom-com easy like that. Like, feels like women's fiction, like Emily Henry's like rom-coms do, that are like women's fiction rom-com romances mix. That's what we're having so far. I'm gonna go make my coffee. I'm also going to eat something. I'm gonna eat something really easy. I love the Trader Joe's pastas. I really like the fettuccine alfredo. That one's really easy, and you just put it in the microwave. I like the cacio e pepe gnocchi, and then I also like the other gnocchi in like the, I don't know what it's called. It's in a white sauce. It's not, I don't like any of the red sauce gnocchi. I don't like that one. And I don't really like any other pastas except for the fettuccine alfredo. Get those. Those are my favorites. I'm gonna pop this in the microwave, make my coffee, and then I'll see ya. Guess what I'm doing right now?
Making a coffee?
No, today and tomorrow.
You have 24 hours?
Yup.
How are you doing it this time? I don't remember.
I'm stay up as long as I can, but if I don't, then I'll just like you do the rest of the time tomorrow.
What time did you go to sleep last night? That's the real question.
Like 1:30.
Girl.
Yeah. You know what I hate? People.
Oh, well.
Because why is everyone like, oh my god, the anthropology juice glasses break? Yeah, they've been broke forever. Like, please, like, are you guys stupid? Like, what? And then everyone's like, oh, now every time someone makes a coffee with an anthropology juice glass, everyone's like, oh my god, be careful, it's not gonna break. Or like, they'll do videos like, oh my god, I hope my thing doesn't break. Shut the fuck up and do it right. Like, this one's it's a little white.
Are you taking the rest of your coffee?
You want it? I could. If you don't want to waste it.
You can have it.
Wait, can I have more coffee?
Yeah,
don't put a lot. It's pretty sweet. Girl, put your records on. What color? Purple.
I don't care. Surprise me.
Pink.
Surprise me.
White.
For your white shirt.
Now I gotta read and I gotta eat. I don't know if this is the situation with the book that's making me so anxious, or the fact that I had a coffee and I can feel myself buzzing. But this is like scary. It's like I don't know what I would do in this situation. It better, please, please. I'm scared! I have about 20 more pages, so there we go. Okay, we finished the first book in 4 hours and 2 minutes. Almost 3 minutes. 4 hours and 3 minutes to finish a 400-page book. I would say that's pretty good, especially because I had breaks in between where I wasn't reading for like around, probably in a lapse of like 20 minutes. I wasn't reading, but I'm actually really proud of that. I don't know what I was thinking it was gonna be. I also don't know what book I'm gonna read next. I kind of want to start reading The Nightingale by Kristen Ciccarelli, but let me see if I can get that from Libby, because I also just want to read on my Kindle right now. 7-week wait. I can read that physically. Finish the first book. I feel like every mcfarlane book, I'm always like, yeah, it's not as romantic romantic as I was thinking it was going to be. Like this one is really self-discovery and learning and dealing with yourself after a breakup, and that's like really it. Like I would say there's a total of like 30, maybe 50 whole pages of this book that felt like romantic between the two characters. Like they had good like chemistry, I guess. Yeah, it was like attraction based because I can recognize that that person's pretty, I can recognize that person's handsome. I don't know, they were just so focused in on themselves and like them in their situations right now, which is totally understandable. Like their breakups happened like literally like less than 2 months ago for both of them, so yeah, that's that. I understand why it has like a 3.3 something on Goodreads because it's under the romance category. Like you find Mhairi McFarlane's books in the romance genre of a bookstore, but they barely have any romance in them. And like, yeah, the couple ends up together because that's like a whole romance book, but like you don't get like the traditional romance plots and like acts. Like for example, there's not really ever a third act breakup in here because they're not together by the third act. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm gonna rate this. I'm going to sit on it. I think I'm gonna start the Nightingale because I just want to be into that one right now. Yeah, I think Kristen Hanna's work, like her writing's really easy to like get by. I feel like because they look so long and they are pretty like long books, I just feel like intimidated by it. But like when I read The Women, it was just like so easy to go by. Like it just felt like nothing. I have 19 hours and 51 minutes left. So I know this is World War II and it follows two sisters in occupied France. So that's all I know. I look disheveled. 18 hours left. It is 3:45, basically 3:47 if you want to get exact. And I'm on page 122. I think this book is 570. I'm pretty sure. Basically, it's not anything else. The plot is what I said to you. Two sisters in Nazi occupied France. They're not in Paris. I don't know if it's a considered countryside. The Nazis have occupied their town. And like France has surrendered to Nazi control. And I didn't know France did that. Maybe it's because like I didn't know, like I only know about World War II in like the lens of like the American like school system and stuff like that. So like I know how we got involved, how it ended and everything like that. But I guess I just didn't know like the effects it had over in Europe outside of like Jewish concentration camps and stuff like that. So that's all I really knew. Like I didn't know this was happening. Those two sisters, Vivian, which is the older sister, and Isabel. So Isabel is the younger sister. She's like 19, 18, 19. And she is like the rebel out of the sisters. So she's like very outspoken. And then Vivian has a daughter, so she has to protect her daughter. She's thinking more in terms of like how to keep my family together, while Isabel is just very like, I don't stand for this and I'm not going to stand for this. Like I'm going to be outspoken about it. There's like that type of dynamic. And so they were estranged sisters because Isabel was like in a bunch of different like boarding school type of deals, and so after the Nazis take over Paris, she goes over to her sister's like, here we go. Yeah, now they're together again. They don't know how their dynamic's gonna work out because there's resentment on both sides because Vivian was so young, and so she basically had to like look after her sister, and then she like left her sister because a bad time, and then Isabel just feels really abandoned by both her father and Vivian and like everyone in her life. I'm 122 pages in. It's easy to read. I told you again. I've been reading for an hour and 30 minutes. So basically like a page every minute. I'm hoping to finish this by 7. So 4 more hours. That could be wishful thinking, but I'm gonna try to read that. And then I think I want to pick up Deep Cuts or one of the Kindle romances after this book. Let's see how far into it I am. Only 20% into it and I'm already thinking about the next book. I'm going to keep reading. I feel like after I got like a talking break in, I can focus up. I can focus up, but yeah. Why is it so tall? Should I? Oh. Yeah, that's way better. Oh my god, you guys have been so tall. But I hate when bitches act stupid. Like, girl, you knew. So why are you acting like, oh my god, like they're occupying your like whole entire town, basically. How can you be so like oblivious and stupid and be like, yeah, I'm just doing this because they asked me to? Like, what are you? I get it, like the double standards, like she could have been killed or like something would have happened to her if she didn't give up, but like I was just like, girl, what? Is her name Vianne and not Vivian? Whoops. Vianne? That sounds like pretty American to me. Vianne. That's how Google Translate France is doing it. It is, I've just moved in the bed. I feel like I'm in a different spot, but I've just moved in the bed. I'm at the foot of the bed now. 6:05, I have 16 hours left and I've been reading The Nightingale for almost 4 hours, 3 hours and 47 minutes. I have around 170 pages left, so I fear I will not finish at 7 or before 7. So next goal is 8, but in that time I'm probably gonna eat dinner and I'm probably not gonna be actively reading. Stuff has happened. I don't know how much I'm going to cry at the end. I feel like I heard that people like sob at the end. I think I know why people sob at the end, and like I get it, and I think I know what's going to happen. Not like every specific, but I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen regarding some characters. I'll shed some tears. I don't know if I'll like full on sob, because another bad thing already happened to characters that we already knew and are like connected to, and I didn't sob. I think I was just so numb by like the hurt of it. I was just like, oh my god, that's happening, and I was just so numb that I just didn't cry. I'm gonna keep reading, but I think right now I don't love it as much as I loved The Women by Kristen Hanna. I don't know if that's like an unpopular opinion, because I feel like this one's the most popular. This and like Four Winds, because I think The Women just like came out in like either 2023 or 2024. I feel like because I was in the mindset of one specific character the whole entire book, like the whole 400 something pages, I was really in it. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's different because in The Women, she was an army nurse. So she was like in the thick of like seeing all this like travesty. Not like that these other people, like the sisters aren't, but like it was just so in detail of like the horrors that she was seeing, like the blood, the bone, like the amputated limbs and everything like that. And so it just felt a little like more, I guess. It like felt like I was like, you could like be a little bit more like freaked out because like this is like firsthand experience. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you know what I mean, but that's the thing I'm talking about. Not to say like I do still like these characters. You know what I mean? Like, I just think right now I like The Women better. So, and I got 170 more pages left, so. I didn't think this was gonna happen, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I thought something else was happening. Page 530, I've got 40 pages left. I think I'm gonna have to stop, eat dinner, but it's 40 pages and it's 7 o'clock, so I feel like that's pretty good. Like I overestimated my reading abilities, but I did read 130 pages in like less than an hour, so crazy still. This is horrible. What? This is so sad. What? This is sad. Okay, maybe I'm gonna cry. Whoa. I have 15 more pages. Wait. Honestly don't know how to do math. Maybe 25? Yeah, I think so. JK. I'm stressed out. Go, go. I'm trying to read as fast as I can. Okay. All right. I didn't know. Frick! How could I not see this coming? Finished. Book 2 done. Book 2 done. That book took me 4 hours and 46 minutes, and I have 15 hours left. I'm gonna go eat my Chick-fil-A. The best Chick-fil-A order is spicy chicken sandwich, the meal. I love the fries, but for the spicy chicken sandwich, it's the best sandwich. Everything else on the Chick-fil-A menu low-key kind of sucks, except for the spicy chicken sandwich, not gonna lie. But you take the spicy chicken sandwich, get yellow mustard. Okay, if you hate yellow mustard, get out of here. Yellow mustard and Kewpie mayonnaise. Regular mayonnaise works, but if it's Kewpie Japanese mayo, way better. You put that on the top bun, and then you put like really flat fries on the chicken patty, and then you flip it over, and so now you have bun, chicken, spicy chicken sandwich, filet, fries, and then the mayonnaise and mustard. That is the best Chick-fil-A order, and I think I've eaten that. Sometimes, okay, it used to be once a week for like 2 years, and then I went to college and I stopped getting it once a week, but I still eat that. That's my everyday order. I think I've eaten that for like the past 4 years, so there's that. I'm gonna go eat that. Chick-fil-A! Wait, damn, you leaving? We have 14 hours and 40 minutes left. I feel pretty good. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna fall asleep anytime soon, so I will just keep reading, and yeah, and if I do fall asleep, I'll just make up the time the next day. Do you know what I mean? So, we finished 2 books. For the first book, Mad About You by mcfarlane, it took me 4 hours and 2 minutes, and I did take breaks for eating like I did before. but I finished that at 2:18 p.m. For Mad About You, it's 400 pages, so that's that. It was the first book. The Nightingale by Kristen Ciccarelli, this is around 565 pages, and it took me 4 hours and 49 minutes and 42 seconds. But I think I'm gonna start reading the Kindle books. But I think I'm gonna start reading Deep Cuts by Holly. Hi Pep, you're back in. Holly Brickley. So we're gonna do that. Goodreads version says it's 288 pages. Don't know how much that is on the Kindle, but we're gonna start it. But these are the books that we finished so far. We're starting on our next one, but that's on Kindle. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna read another physical book again, because I am saving Heavenly Bodies for a different video. I don't think I'm gonna reread Magnolia Parks in this video. And I either want to save Oathbound for another video, but I'm just not in the mood for it. Like, I just don't want to read it right now. So, Kindle books to save the day. It's 9 o'clock, 8:58 to be exact. I've been reading Deep Cuts for an hour and 23 minutes, and I'm only on page 93. I fear, why is it taking so long? I don't know, I feel like it's taking a while. It says I'm 34% through the book, but yeah, basically we have our main characters, Percy and Joe. Joe is like, he wants to do music, so he's writing songs, and Percy, in the beginning of the book, she's an English student, and so she just she loves music, but she doesn't know how to like play it. She doesn't really know like all the intricacies about it, but she loves songs, and like specifically songs, not like so much as like music as like a whole thing. And so she really connects to songs, and so her and Joe have like this weird connection, and so she's always giving her opinions on his songs and making them better. And so he's like obsessed with that, like, oh my god, you make my art better. And so that's where the toxic dynamic is, and I heard it was toxic, and I at first like that didn't happen until like page 50, 60, and I was like, oh oh, because yeah, it just felt like infatuation with like a guy. But it's getting more, it's hot. I'm gonna keep reading, only a third of the way through, so I guess that's good. And it like really goes into like depth about music, like stuff that I guess like stuff that like is flying over my head, but like I guess if you know more music then you'll enjoy it. But yeah, it's pretty fine. I think some of the lines are really good. Most of the time when I'm reading like this. I guess this is what I wanted this whole time. Just like pure raw, like I don't love infidelity. I feel like it's such a double standard, because everyone will be like, they don't mind it when like, they don't mind it. They don't get up in arms when the two main characters that aren't a couple yet. And the fact that they don't mind it is like, they just like aren't as like critical of it when they're cheating on their like partners that for the couple to get together, you know what I mean? Like in service of the main couple. I think when it's like kind of like that, but then also like they don't admit it and they're not like together and nothing ever happened. Like stuff happens, but like it does, you know what I mean? So am I giving away this book? But stuff like that, it's like Daisy Jones and the Six. Like I don't really care about Billy and Daisy at all, but I love the angst of Camilla and Billy, even though she deserves way better than him. But some things like that, it's like just those like lines that like they know hurt each other. And I guess this is like the whole dynamic between Percy and what's his name, Joe. She's always criticizing his music and his work and his like artistry and everything like that, because he loves it, he wants it, like he needs it to be better. When she'll say stuff that is hurtful, it's to help him, but then it's also just plain hurtful, you know what I mean? But he like bounces off of it, and like that's been their whole dynamic up since like sophomore year of college, basically junior or sophomore year of college. And so now that she's in grad school right now and he's more of an established musician, it's different, because she'll say the same stuff and she's been saying like these hurtful things, but like he never really says that type of things back, because he just like holds their friendship and everything like that so dear to them. He just said a hurtful line. Yeah, everyone gets so quiet when they see the camera rolling. They don't give a damn about me before that. I feel like I'm taking a while to read this book. Yeah, 2 hours and 24 minutes right now, and I'm only 55% through the book, and I'm 153 pages in, which is low-key slow. Like, I don't understand what's happening, but like, I'm not tired. Why are you laughing? Because of Wendy? Did she go in? Is that what you were laughing at?
Yeah.
I've been listening to ambient noise, which was just ocean sounds. Getting messy. There's like 10 pages left, so if he says no, then that's how it ends. Ugh. Ugh. I finished Deep Cuts. It says it has 288 pages. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I complained about this the other day, but Austin Butler for Deep Cuts, Joe? No. Saoirse Ronan I can see. 3 hours and 49 minutes, which I feel like is super duper long. So I think I'm gonna either start First Time Caller or Promise Me Sunshine. I think I might start First Time Caller by BK Borison, but I'm a little tired. Do I do the next 10 hours later? No, we're gonna stay up. It is only 11:30, so I wouldn't even be like going to sleep by now. But just the fact that I have to start another book is disgusting. I'm gonna do a recap on all my thoughts and my ratings on them because I finished 3 books so far and I don't know the definitive rankings. Like I kind of know the vibes in which like I'm going for. Like I know the lowest it could be, but I don't know definitively. 10 more hours. Oh, basically 11. Let's just go down to 10. 10 more hours of reading. That's like, if it takes me slower than normal during the last times, I think I could finish 2 more books and it would probably just be the 2 romance books. But Deep Cuts was like low-key romantic. I don't know what it would be. Like what's that classified as? Fiction, romance, contemporary, literary. I'm gonna read. First Time Caller. I still have 9 hours left. I've been reading for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm on page 186. So it's going quick. It's going quick. The book's cute. I really like it. I read one other BK Borison book and that was the Christmas one, Love Light Farms. I read it in one of my Bookmas videos. I didn't really like that one. I think the writing's good. Like the writing's just like fine. Like it's not anything like I have any qualms with it. I pulled that one out, but I'm also not like obsessed. I feel like in romances, it's very different. Like I think about the plot more and like what these authors like put into the plot more than I do with the writing in romance books, I guess. But like, I don't know why. Plot's good. Plot's really engaging. I'm really enjoying it. And I like the characters and I like the dynamics between the characters. So basically, while I used to have reservations, I don't know why I thought the daughter, as soon as I heard daughter being like calling in for on a radio talk show, romance hotline, I thought like a 20-year-old daughter was calling in for her like 50-year-old mother that hasn't gotten any action, but it wasn't that. The mother is 29 and the child is 12. So we don't get much of Maya. Oh my god, the battery. Ew. Yeah, Maya's not really in it and I really like Aiden and Lucy's dynamic and I think they're fun. I think they're fun and fresh. Pretty good so far. I have no real complaints. I feel like it's 450 pages ish. So like that's a little crazy. It's probably like 430 something, but that's a little crazy in itself. I'm 42% through the book. Like the romance is like hinted at, but like we're not like fully in relationship status. So guess who made it? Can you act like you love me? Shh. Guess who made a cameo? Don't lie to them. Don't lie. You wanted to come up here. You bust down the door and you want to come up here. I'm getting tired. It's 1:55 in the morning. I have 18 hours left and I've been reading this book for 2 hours and 22 minutes. I am 288 pages in and honestly I think we could wrap it up in less than 40 pages and have the epilogue. I think that's at the point I'm at. It's just entirely way too long. I feel like we've gotten all the cute rom-com-y bits that I'm like, I would be okay with wrapping this up in 50 pages. And I've also put it down that I'm not going to be able to shower until I finish this book. And then I can go shower and then I could like try to fall asleep if I wanted to. And I just finish the time the next day. Yeah, I'm 66% through the book and this could be wrapped up. The book's done! 3 hours and 10 seconds. Is that what that means? 10 minutes. It is 2:43 in the morning and we have 7 hours and 25 minutes left of the readathon. I honestly don't know if I want to read another romance book right now. She looks like she has red hair. Maybe it's because it gets the pink in the cover, but you know what I mean? Like that really threw me off that she was brunette. Who cares? Hey, who cares? I don't know what I want to read. I'm gonna look through the Kindle store. I haven't read a fantasy book in forever, but I just don't know if I want to get into like a long fantasy book. I'm in the mood for that, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. I think I'm going to read Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I think I'm gonna go shower, brush my teeth, and then hop back right into bed. So I'm gonna start this tonight. So I'm keeping the timer going because I can. I'm gonna start it tonight. When I fall asleep is where I'll pause the timer and we'll get back to it, you know what I mean? We still have 7 hours left, and so I don't know if I can finish this book in 7 hours, but we'll try. It's only 406 pages. That's the plan, Stan. I don't know if we're gonna finish Heartless Hunter. I think we might, but who knows? I haven't read a fantasy book in a while. I read one recently, but it was like more like urban fantasy where it was just like witchcraft, devil cult worship type of beat fantasy, not like magic world building type of fantasy that I have to like really get into. When's the last time I did one of those? It was Babel, but I already knew what that was. I'm not counting that. Oh, it was this year. Okay, it was Air by Sabar Tahir, but I also already knew that world, but like I still had to world build it because it was new characters. But before that, it was Uprooted by Naomi Novik, like for a whole new complete world that I've never heard of. It was Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and that was in December of last year, and that one took me like a week to read because I was on vacation. Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like my voice got really deep. See you when I start Heartless Hunter. Guys, here's what's up. I fell asleep at 4 a.m. I took this picture at like 3:56 because I kept on dozing off when I was reading Heartless Hunter. I took this picture and it said 6 hours and 13 minutes left. I forgot to turn off the timer, so I'm going to turn off the timer and put 6 hours on. So here's that. And I'm gonna continue reading Heartless Hunter. I literally just woke up too. It's 10:42 the next day. So I slept for like 6 hours. And I'm not mad about it. Hey, I'm not mad. But I woke up like just now, brushed my teeth, did everything like that. And I'm going to finish off reading. It says I'll finish at 5 basically. So I read 18 hours. Am I doing that math right? 24 minus 6. I've read 18 hours yesterday. I literally stopped in the middle of the chapter. Like, that's how crazy. I never normally do that. I have 4 hours. I think I know what's going to happen. I am on page 252 and I've been reading Heartless Hunter for 2 hours. That's not counting like the 50 pages I read last night. I don't know how long that took me, but yeah, I also took a 30-minute nap. So I took a 30-minute nap and I was, you guys didn't need to know that. I didn't have to out myself like that. So 254, 62%. I'm going to put my prediction out there just in case. If it's right, then I'm gonna feel so smart. And then I'm just gonna, this is what I think is gonna happen. So that's my prediction. 400 pages in here, so I have like 150 left. I think I'm gonna have time to start another book. I just don't know what I would start, and I don't know if I want to start another book. These chapters are really fast and easy to read. I think the world building's really easy. I'm liking it so far. Like, I feel like I haven't read a fantasy in a while, and I've been low-key out of my fantasy mood, and I used to read so much more, like so much fantasy, but since this is YA fantasy, it's like really easy to digest, and I'm having fun. But like, I'm not having the most fun ever. It's just like easy to get through. Not obsessed with any of the characters. I do think I really enjoy Rune's character. I just love a girl pretending to be ditzy instead of like being so sarcastically like badass. Like, so I just like that. Like, she's just like pretending to be ditzy and like stupid and like just like so superficial that no one suspects her of like anything, but she's actually super smart, and I like that. Like, I like that type of dynamic. One, funny because of the comedic timing, and I'm just so over snarky, overly confident main characters that don't know. They don't know. They'll say stuff, but like they realistically don't know, and it'll bite them in the ass because they just look like an idiot. And so I think I like the ditzy, the ditzy like persona that Rune's putting on. So basically, this is like a Regency. I don't know if it's classified as Regency, but it's like a full, like it's a fantasy in another world. And so there's like a class system, and they go to balls. They have like really like poofy dresses. It's like Pride and Prejudice, but like not Pride and Prejudice, but like also like not Regency Bridgerton. In their society, there are witches and then there's not witches. And so before, I guess they're like area, I don't know, it's like a whole country because like they talked about like other places not really caring about witches. In their place right now, there used to be a monarchy and they were witch sisters. So like these witches sisters were the queens of like the nation and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden there was a coup. The revolution basically took over, killed the witches, and now are like humans that don't want witch power. They don't care about witch power, and they kill and like take witches on sight. Rune is the Crimson Moth, and she is a witch, but like she doesn't have control of her powers that much. She's like still learning, and like I feel like that was like something I just didn't see, I guess, because the Crimson Moth and like the main character, you assume that they're gonna like have their magic under control and like know everything about their magic, but she's pretty clueless. So like she figured out her magic late, and then her grandmother was the witch that was looking over her, and she died, so she doesn't really have anybody like teaching her the magic and stuff like that. So she is just trying to free witches that are in captivity, and all while trying to find this one witch that her grandmother told her to like find and like help her with a magic, Seraphina. I think it's Seraphine or Seraphina. That's the whole thing. And then our main character Gideon is a witch hunter, and he has a brother named Alex, and Alex is Rune's best friend, and so he knows that she's a witch, and so he's playing like devil's advocate because he's on Rune's side, but he's also on Gideon's side. So there's that. So because Rune is like a witch, so she pretends to be ditzy and only care about like superficial things like balls, gossip, stuff like that. She pretends to be like that, and then Gideon is having suspicions of Rune of being the Crimson Moth, and so he's like, I need to figure this out. And then she's like, oh my god, he has like suspicions, so like I have to like play this up. They're like low-key courting, but like also not low-key courting because they're just trying to find information about each other, but there are real feelings there. So I guess one thing I just never really cared about, like, and never really understood, and like these societies where like people with magic are like so like they're put down, I guess. Not like in Powerless, because in Powerless it's like the opposite, and that makes sense to me. Like I guess like yeah, but like if you had magic, if a person right next to me had magic, kill me, they have the magic. Like what? That is insane to me. Like people in Harry Potter, like imagine if all the humans hated all the wizards and witches. Like that's insane. Like they have the power. They can do anything. Like what are you talking about? So I think I'm done. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna make a coffee. It's 1 o'clock. 3 hours and 51 minutes left. Did I 100% call it? No. Did I? Was I close? A little bit. I'm kind of glad. Something needed to happen. You know what I mean? Like something had to give. Why is it always the ending line? And enemies to lovers. I'm already, that was stupid. Oh, wait, those little, whoa. Those little sprinkles, like, you know what I mean? Like she really put that in, and I just never got it up. I never cut those up. Finished. We finished the Crimson Moth, the Heartless Hunter. That's the Australian one. They could, please, why didn't they just do one? That took me 3 hours and 24 minutes and 39 seconds. This is with my eating break, so I did not read when I was eating lunch, and then I also took a 30-minute nap. So yeah, there's that. It is 2:20 right now. I have 2 hours and 33 minutes left. So I think I'm gonna start reading Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This one deals with like grief, like loss of a best friend, I think. So we're gonna start this. We're not gonna finish this at all, but we're gonna start the next book. This one's also a romance, but yeah, still going strong. I don't know how I woke up. Like I took that 30-minute nap rejuvenated me. I woke up, started reading The Crimson Moth again. I'm gonna call it that. Like I don't care. And I kept going. I trudged along. So yeah. Oh my god, is this one in New York again? I realize that you're probably sick of me just sitting on the bed. But I've got 1 hour left, and I've been reading, what's this called? Promise Me Sunshine for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Page 163, 42% through the book. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking both of the characters. I'm really liking the way the plot's moving, the way the writing's going. I'm really enjoying it. There's enough emotional depth of every character that I'm just like, yeah, I'm really connecting to the characters, and I'm really enjoying to seeing like how it's gonna play out. I really like both Lenny and Miles. I'm gonna give you a brief one down and then I'm gonna read the last hour. So basically Lenny is a babysitter, and so she gets hired to babysit Reese's daughter, which is Ainsley. Ainsley's 7 years old, and so this is set in New York. Love New York. Ainsley, her mom is like a workaholic, and so she is also the daughter of a famous like country blues musician, stuff like that. So he's famous, so they have money. Gets hired to babysit Ainsley while her mom's like on a work trip, and also Miles is like involved in the family. He's Ainsley's uncle, and so like you get more about him and the whole dynamic between them. So but Reese, Ainsley's mom, and Miles, they have like a rocky relationship, and you get to that later. I can't do the glare, but I'm just not gonna be able to see you. Lenny is dealing with the grief of her best friend like slash sister. Like they did everything together. She's dealing with the grief of that, and so she doesn't want to take any like full-time babysitter duties. Miles can see that Ainsley really likes Lenny, and Reese really likes Lenny too, and so like Miles is just always around, and he wants to really get integrated in with Reese and Ainsley's life, and so he strikes up a deal because he's dealt with grief already, and so he's like, I'm gonna get Lenny out of this and like bring her back and like help her out during this like really hard time. He helps her, and then Lenny will help Miles with the relationship and like babysitting and like learning kids and stuff like that with Ainsley and Reese. So that's the dynamic. Miles is such a good guy. Like he's so good. He's so good. And it's really sweet to see their friendship blossom, especially because Lenny was like all alone basically after her best friend died, Lou. He's really stepping up, and I'm really enjoying the dynamic between Lenny, Ainsley, Reese, Miles, everybody. So I'm really enjoying it. 6 more minutes, 6 more minutes, 6 more minutes. Oh my god, we did it. I'm gonna finish this chapter and then I'll tell you where I'm at because I deserve to finish the chapter. I reached chapter 30, page 308, 79%. I've been reading that book for 2 hours and 33 minutes. For the wrap up, I'm gonna review the whole entire book and give you a star rating. So I'm gonna finish this, but the wrap up of everything will be in a couple days. But here's a quick rapid fire of what we did read. I finished 5 full books and probably 70% of the 6th book. So pretty good. I'm happy with that, and thank God this is over. I'm done with the readathon for now. So hi guys, it's been a couple days. I'm here to wrap up every book that I read in the 24-hour readathon and give you my ratings for them, because I think I've decided on some of them are like pretty distinct. Like I don't think I'm gonna change the rating, but some of them I'm a little iffy on. So if you see in the future, like I talk about it like in my next wrap up, like my March wrap up, then if the rating changes, don't hold me to it. But the first book that we read in the 24-hour readathon, we started with Mad About You by Vari McFarlane. This is my 4th Vari McFarlane book, and I do think it's my least favorite. This book took me 4 hours, 2 minutes, and 54 seconds to finish. This is it's under romance, but I always say that Vari McFarlane's books always feel more general fiction than like contemporary romance, like The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston or something like that. Honestly, I feel like they're even more fiction based than Emily Henry books, and like more women's fiction than Emily Henry books, because Emily Henry books there's always like a very big potent part of like the romance in there, and so that's why it's classified under romance. Honestly, there's probably like 15% at the most of romance in this book, and so it just felt the least romantic out of every Vari McFarlane book. And honestly, I would say the most romantic is Just Last Night or Don't You Forget About Me. Those felt like the most romantic, and Don't You Forget About Me felt the most rom-com-y because it was like funny romance, and then Just Last Night is a lot of like grief and then like finding yourself after grief type of romance. This one just felt like it was like proximity romance, you know what I mean? Like they were just there and that's how the romance blossomed. It didn't really feel like romantic to me at all. So because of that, I'm giving it a 3 stars. I do recommend Vari McFarlane's books because I do think they're fun. This one, I don't know why this one made me really anxious. I don't know. I know why, but it was just like so crazy. Like the main character Harriet's image got ruined from an ex-boyfriend, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And it like that plot point always like got me really scared. But yeah, Harriet is a wedding photographer. She breaks up with her boyfriend, who proposed to her in a public setting in front of his family that she doesn't like, and his family doesn't like her, and so she was obligated to say yes in front of them, and then she broke it off later. And then she's like kind of recounting like how their relationship didn't work out because of her and because of also him. He like wasn't like seeing everything, but like she also just didn't give enough into that relationship as well because of some past trauma that has to do with the psycho ex. So because of that, and because she broke up with her boyfriend, she moves into a rental house for a couple months, and the guy that has the property and is going to be her roommate, basically because Harriet's a wedding photographer, he was a runaway groom of a wedding that she was supposed to shoot, and so like they just like kind of meet happenstance. But it really is mostly about Harriet and how she's processing all the trauma that she went through in one of her last relationships, and like finding herself after being like newly single and stuff like that. So that's this book. 3 stars. The next book that I read was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is my 3rd Kristen Hanna book. I don't count Comfort and Joy because it was so short and it was so stupid. I hate that book. I hate that book. Like that author doesn't feel like the same author of The Women or The Nightingale for me. I read this book in 4 hours, 49 minutes, and 42 seconds. So this one probably took the longest. I think it is, like, definitively took the longest. 570 pages. I'm giving this a 4 stars. I honestly didn't like it as much as The Women by Kristen Hanna, and I read that one first, before, like in the same week, but I read that first. I did enjoy this. I think it was a really good historical fiction. I don't know if it like because I was like reading it so quickly and like binging it for a 24-hour, but it just didn't hit emotionally like I was expecting it to. It is really sad. It's horrible, like the mistreatment that every character endured in this book, and like even more that weren't even talked about as much as the 2 main characters. But basically this follows 2 sisters in World War II in occupied France. And so France is getting occupied by the Nazis, and so one of her sisters, Isabel, she's the younger sister, she's like 18. She flees Paris to go to her sister in the countryside. Her sister's like 10 years older than her. Her sister has a family, and her husband went off to fight, and so she's like caring for her daughter by herself in this town as being occupied by some Nazis. And so there's also a Nazi officer that takes over her house basically, and he's like, I'm gonna live here. So that's what happens. And so Isabel and Vion, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm butchering it, but she basically a single mother right now because her husband's off. She and Isabel don't really get along because their father was an absentee father, and then so they were in like a bunch of boarding schools and like places like that. And so because of that, and because Vion had to like grow up so fast, and she abandoned her sister when she found her now husband. They like went off. She was now in charge of Isabel, and so she just sent her to boarding schools, blah blah blah. And so they have a strained relationship. They come together during this time, and it shows like what they both went through during this time, because then more stuff happens. Isabel goes back off to Paris. You understand why, but yeah, it just shows the characters throughout this time. Parts of this book really, I thought I knew where we were going, but we didn't go there, and so I was like, oh, okay, this is just historical fiction. It was good. I just think because I read it so fast, I just never really got super duper connected to the characters. Like, I loved them. I guess like every time I was reading something like super traumatic, I was just kind of numb. I was just like, oh, but I had to keep going, you know what I mean? So I didn't have time to like reflect on like how that was making me feel, I guess. Next, I read Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. I don't know definitively what I'm giving it because I liked it. It took me 3 hours and 49 minutes to read like less than 300 pages of a book. So that's crazy. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but this is a general fiction about these 2 characters, Percy and Joe. And so they meet when they're in college, and they hit it off because they're both really into music. And so Percy's really into like the song aspect of like music and like everything like that makes a song, and Joe's just like really passionate about music, and he wants to become a musician in a band so badly, and that's like life goal. He shares a song that he wrote to Percy, and she kind of nitpicks it, she kind of like critiques it because she's like an English major, and so then he takes all those critiques and makes the song better, and so it's like the best song ever. They quickly become friends, and Joe has a girlfriend. I don't remember her name. I don't remember her name. She was a big character. I don't know why I don't remember her name. And they've been together since like high school, basically. They're like high school best friends. He doesn't have a good home life, so her family is basically his family. Percy kind of joins into this little group, and so they're now like a trio. We span a bunch of time. Now Percy and Joe are basically songwriter duos. He makes a song, she critiques it, he makes it better. And so then he starts getting gigs, and then he starts blowing up. up when Percy moves to New York. After the blow up, they just don't really see each other, but there's also like, there's always, throughout this whole thing, there's always like this underlying of chemistry that they have, and they're always drawn to each other. Maybe it's because like they bond so well and closely through music, and music is so like intimate and stuff like that. Their relationship, now that Joe's off and like he's more famous and he doesn't really have time for Percy, and you really get the effects of that. Throughout the book, we're in Percy's POV, and so like I understand her so much better than I understand Joe a little bit, and so it's stuff that Joe would do and I'd be like, what the heck, bro? But then I would understand it, but like not to the full extent that I would if I was Percy, because like some stuff that they were doing to each other, I was like, girl, this is crazy. And I'm all for toxic. Like my favorite books, this whole shelf right here, are Magnolia Park's books. I love toxic. I read toxic fanfic. Like I love toxic, but it was like not a fun toxic, and I was just like, okay, whatever. Also, the whole plot, everything, it felt sluggish. I felt like I was dragging along. Why did that take me 3 hours and 49 minutes? I don't know, but I enjoyed the characters and I enjoyed like the journey that we went on, and I think like those types of books that are so up my alley, so I still don't know what I want to rate it. Right now it's at a 3.5 stars. I was debating on a 3.25 stars. I don't know, so I'm iffy on that rating. 3.25 to 3.5 is what I'm like saying right now. Oh, this is also like not historical. It's like happening in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Keep that in mind. Joe's music is basically like indie pop rock type of deal. That's it. Next, I read First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I gave this one 3 stars. I thought it was a cute little romance. A little long, 430 something pages is pushing it for a romance, but I enjoyed like the radio setting. And so basically our main characters, Lucy and Aiden. So Aiden Valentine, he is a like romance hotline for the city of Baltimore. Doesn't really like his job anymore. He doesn't really believe in love because he has like some trauma regarding his mother, because his mother is like really sick, and so he sees the love that his father and mother have, and he's like, how can you love like that when you know she can be gone like tomorrow? And so he's really like reserved in like that aspect, so he just doesn't really believe in love. He's a romance hotline, so he's been saying some like out-of-pocket things and just being a little rude to like the callers, and so they're like, we need to up the rating. Lo and behold, Lucy's 12-year-old daughter goes on the midnight hotline, calls up Aiden. She's like, I need you to help find a date for my mom. Like this is, we need to matchmake my mom. Lucy catches her daughter, and so and then she like has a conversation with Aiden, and the city of Baltimore freaks out. Their clip goes viral, and they all want Lucy to come back on the show. Lucy and him co-host like a time period of like the radio show, and so it's all about trying to find Lucy a date. He really likes Lucy. There's immediate attraction, and so as they're getting to know each other through like them working together and being on air, he really likes her. Now that I'm really retelling like what's happening, it was so long for no reason, like actually, because all basically he had to do, he was like, he's falling for her, they fall, they're done, they're together. I remember in the readathon, I was like, this book should be done. Like I was at like 350 pages. I was like, we could have 20 more pages and the epilogue and I'd be done, it'd be over. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. It was cute. It wasn't like my favorite ever romance, but yeah. And that book took me 3 hours and 10 minutes to read. The next book I read was Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, and that book took me 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 39 seconds to complete. I'm giving this a 3.5 stars. This is a YA fantasy romance. It's marketed as enemies to lovers, but like they kind of like both use each other and like fake date. I enjoyed it. I think it was fun. Our main character, Rune, she is a witch, and so she doesn't know her powers that well. So her grandmother, when she died, but it's like the whole republic that they're in used to be a monarchy, ruled by these sister witches. A revolution killed them off, and so now they're trying to kill off every witch, and so they take witches prisoner. Rune is the Crimson Moth, and so she is breaking these witches out, and so now Gideon is a like guardsman, like officer type of beat, and so he's like, I need to find this Crimson Moth. He suspects it's Rune, but Rune is not cosplaying, but like she's like pretending to be a really ditzy bimbo type of elite woman in like the court, and so she's just like, oh, I love my dresses, blah blah blah. She's like, I love that. Like that type of thing is so fun, because it's like not like the badass assassin sarcastic character that we see a lot. Like she's not that good. Like she's really not that good at what she's doing, but she's good in the way that she's playing it up. And so I liked that bit. There was a plot twist that I just didn't really see coming. I thought I saw where it was going, didn't go there, so there's that. It was really quick, and it reminds me of why I love YA fantasy so much, because it's not like there's no brain power. Like, I don't need to think. And so it's a duology, so I think I might read the second book pretty soon. There's that. But yeah, I enjoyed my time. That was the first book I read when I woke up. So I like had 50 pages read at like 4 a.m. and then I woke up and finished it. And then the last book that I started and got to like 70% of in the 24 hours was Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. I read that for the last 2 hours, 33 minutes and 10 seconds of the challenge, and then I finished it off later. I just never kept elapsing time. And so I don't know how long that one took me, but I had like 100 pages left. I enjoyed that book so much. I'm giving that a 4.5 stars. It was a beautiful romance. It was so romantic, so sweet, and it wasn't like overly romantic. Like, you could both see Lenny's attraction of Miles because we're in her POV, and it was just like so sweet. And like the things he was doing for her and helping her out of her funk, because she is having a hard time and she doesn't know how to live now that her best friend Lou has died. And so they were always like, they were soulmates, and so she doesn't know how to live on after Lou. And so Miles has been through the grief process, and he's trying to help Lenny out, because in return she helps him become like a better uncle to his niece, because he doesn't really know how to connect with his niece and her mom, because they like recently got into touch into their lives and stuff like that. But Miles, the man he is, you could see his like the sweet little things that he does for Lenny for no reason. Like, it starts out really platonic, and he's like, I really just need you to help me, and I want to help you because I've been there, and so I want to help you get out of that. And so it's so sweet, it's so good. It just felt so Emily Henry, and I was like, oh my god, that's what I wanted. And so I read one Cara Bastone book, Ready or Not, and that was the one where the main character was pregnant and you just follow her out throughout her pregnancy, and the main guy was Shep. Everyone loved Shep and loved that book. I didn't like it that much. I gave it a 2.75 stars, and I just didn't really care for it because it was more of the baby daddy than Shep. And I was like, why are people getting like they love Shep? Like, Shep's barely in the book. Like, what? So I was like kind of hesitant going on to Promise Me Sunshine, but I adored it. It's almost perfect to me. It was just so good. I loved it so much. It could go up to 5 stars later on, but it was just amazing. I loved it so much. So sweet, so cute. Highly recommend. So that was my favorite book that I read throughout the 24 hours. Yeah, that was the last book that I semi-completed in all of the 24 hours. I read 5.7 books. So almost 6 books, because I only got 70% into Promise Me Sunshine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the 24-hour readathon and the torture that it put me through. Every time I do a 24-hour readathon, I'm always surprised at like how easy it is to just get locked into a book, because I don't really binge books like that anymore, and so it's only in these 24-hour readathons. The first time I like fully tried to flesh out, like stay up and like read the whole time and not pause the timer, was the 24-hour readathon that I did in May, and I was so surprised that like I was able to lock in. And same for this, like I haven't been able to lock into a book for a while. So these are always fun to like binge books and just take a whole day to read. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Goodreads, Instagram, TikTok. I'm always on those platforms. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!